All right, we are live. We're going to deal with Corey in just a second. You see Buzz up there because Corey cannot hear me. So, yes.
Oh. So you can hear him now.
All right, you can hear me now. All right, so we will get Buzz off the screen for Corey, but
this is
yes.
Spinning.
Look at it.
Yeah. I'm not Buzz.
All right, yeah. This Little Glitches Live TV. This is this is probably our largest audience we've ever had. So we were expecting some glitches to come in and do this, but this is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to talk a little bit about the embarrassment that was week 2. We're going to let Corey do his bet online thing, and we're going to get into week 3 because there's some interesting week 3 games, even though there's only one ranked matchup that might be the wrong team favored. We'll talk about that when we get to the pick section. Corey, how you doing today, bud?
Man, I'm great. I'm glad I'm finally back on though. That was a little bit helter skelter there, touch and go, I guess, however you want to describe it. But hey, I'm here. It's another edition of SEC After Dark. So you already know I look forward to Wednesdays.
Absolutely.
But I want to also let you guys know that we're brought to you by betonline.ag. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. You can find reviews and news for every league. That's including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, golf, MLS, and most importantly, college football. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information, from live and game betting, props, and futures. So head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join in today and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code Bleav50 to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's BLEAV50. BetOnline, it's where the game starts. Yeah, man. Last week was, let's just say, interesting.
Yes. And just so everybody knows, for our new audience and everything, Corey is the host of the Bleav In Georgia Dawgs podcast.
That's right.
That's the reason that reader was there. I do the Locked On Ole Miss podcast. Jeb is a person, and Jake does Tide Talk Live.
That's right.
Jeb is a person.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Appreciate you acknowledging me.
He's just here every Wednesday night. I don't know where we find him, but you know,
he just stumbles upon the feed here.
Yeah, right.
He finally hung up a Tennessee flag, which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried. Well, I mean, Stephen Becky really tried, but whatever.
There you go. Good job.
Take him
Steve.
over and put all that to.
Jake now is Allah instead of Ah.
That's the right one.
Yeah, so we're getting closer to maybe it's Alab next week.
Yeah.
Alba. Yeah.
Alpama.
Mm-hmm.
So as you see, the lines are scrolling across the bottom of the screen. It's going to be fun to kind of make some picks this week. Just throwing this one out there. Now that Scott Frost got canned, Nebraska under Mickey Joseph, they are 13.5-point underdogs to go out of conference here. How do you guys see that game against Oklahoma?
No.
They're only 13.5. That's impressive.
Nebraska, they need to go 0-12 or whatever that number is for letting Scott Frost go 20 days before $7.5 million would come off his buyout.
Yeah.
They must have been desperate, man.
Hey, John.
Or just really angry.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, John?
I mean, they did lose to Georgia Southern.
That's something the Tennessee fan base would do. Fire a coach right after a loss without thinking about the consequences.
No.
They've been trying to fire him for a while now, so I'm really kind of not surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah, Trev Alberts did this like 20 years ago to the Ole Miss fan base, called Ole Miss the runts of the SEC. And I guess they're now Nebraska's the runts of the Big Ten West, and that's saying something. I mean,
it is.
I was favored by 23 points this week, and somebody just posted on Twitter, is like, you guys realize that's 10 safeties?
Yes, because that's all they can score.
That's terrible.
God, Iowa couldn't score 23 points in practice all week
Against Air.
against Air.
I mean, if y'all watched college, if y'all watched College Game Day last week, Pat McAfee said that their punter needs to be in the Heisman watch because he's so good. You know.
Getting plenty of work, that's for sure.
Yeah, he does.
Every football team wants to be known
Absolutely
as Punter
Yeah.
U.
Yeah, they're punting you right now.
Oh Lord.
You already know.
You like Tom Herman as the next head coach? Better than Matt Campbell?
Matt Campbell is not touching that job with a 10-foot
No.
pole.
I don't think.
He turned down the NFL to stay at Iowa State. So
He must really love Iowa State.
Where's Tom Herman at right now? Is he anywhere?
Tom Herman is. It feels like he's on TV somewhere. He might be the Big
He
Ten
might be.
Network or something like that.
yeah, I think he's Big Ten Network. If they hire Tom Herman, I'm gonna laugh.
I
But
read
who else do they
somewhere.
hire?
I mean, I heard a name thrown around. Of course, it's Hugh Freeze.
Yes, that would make a ton of sense up there. And
Yep.
unfortunately, though, Nebraska's a public school with Freedom of Information Act being involved.
Yeah,
We all know that he does not do well in that situation.
That's true.
he gets a certain cell phone,
Hmm.
calls a certain. But I guess Jeb, you can Google this one. But is there anywhere for Hugh Freeze to call?
In
In
Nebraska?
Yeah, and Lincoln.
A cornfield, maybe, is all. I mean,
Jeb, you can research that one.
Nebraska?
It's okay.
Call girls.
oh my God.
Trying to send me to Craigslist. I don't want to click on Craigslist. I don't trust it anymore.
Anymore.
Yeah, there were a couple of bad decisions. It doesn't matter. Let's just
Heck yeah. Well, if you want to join in on the chat, as some others have done, make sure you go over to our YouTube channel, subscribe so you can join in. Becky is impressed that I love Buzz. Not a chance. John, what's up, man? You can join John in his conversation here with himself, I guess. Make sure you get your input in. We have a large audience apparently, so we're good to go.
Yeah, chat's
But,
fun.
We're hoping you're having we're hoping you're having an Appy State type of week. We're hoping you're having a Marshall University type of week. We're hoping you have any type of week except for an Aggie week.
Not a Scott Frost type of week. We don't want you to
No.
have that either.
No, not a Scott Frost type of week.
We
not an Aggie,
don't even want you to have a Nick Saban type of week.
where you're just barely squeaking by.
Huh.
Now, okay, all right, let's start there. Okay, because Jake, we need to perform some therapy on Jake here, because in our group chat here, Jake was a little bit flustered. It's Jake. What's Alabama's record?
They're 2-0.
All right, they're 2-0. Okay, so do they count moral victories?
They
You get a loss
shouldn't.
for that? They shouldn't. No. Okay.
They
All
do
right.
if you're playing Alabama.
So
Yeah.
you're still 2-0.
Mm-hmm.
So all of those issues now, I think, are going to go well in Nick Saban's favor, because he's like, okay, all right, you did it your way. You almost lost to Texas in embarrassing fashion. Set the record for most penalties in the Saban era. Most times the quarterback was hit. It's got to be. Bryce Young was harassed all day long. Receivers didn't step up. All that good stuff. Now he's got their attention. I bet this week of practice was really, really rough. So Jake,
Yeah.
all of those things, you know, what seems to be the thing that needs to be fixed the most, the thing that's going to be the Achilles heel moving forward if it doesn't get fixed?
Well, I think offensive play calling is one thing. I mean, the biggest thing about Bill O'Brien offense is it seems like all of our receivers go. They don't start making their moves until 20 yards down the field. So, I mean, I played offensive line when I was in high school, but we was taught, you know, as an offensive lineman, you got 3 seconds, and then as long as you block for 3 seconds, quarterback should have enough time to read a defense and find the open guy. So, I mean, the offensive line's reading 3 seconds, and then it's a free-for-all because our guys are still going down the field and had not done any kind of their moves yet. So that's an issue. Offensive line's got to play a little bit better than what they have. There's some bright spots. And then the other thing is mental issues. That's the biggest thing that killed Alabama last week was the mental mistakes. I mean, I don't think we'll see Will Anderson have that type of mental mistake like he did last week. Jumping off sides or lying off sides twice and then jumping off once and then the late hit. Clearly, the guy was down, So I don't think you'll see a leader of, like him had that type of performance again moving forward.
Right. I mean, Will Anderson's going to be such a force, and Dallas Turner, God, he's dangerous. But, Alabama's receivers have to get separation. They have to protect better, but also Bill O'Brien, you're exactly right. Bill O'Brien has to help them out because he's calling these long developing routes that these guys obviously can't do. You're not getting any help in the run game. Jahmyr Gibbs is not providing what you need just yet or what you thought he was going to provide.
I don't think they're using Jahmyr Gibbs right. I did not like that.
They're not. They're not.
That dude is a weapon. He is not Jameson Williams. The fact that they have to put him out there probably shows how shorthanded they are at the moment.
Because Harold goes down.
Yeah.
So that's Harold would probably be back for the Arkansas game.
And Jermaine Burton 2 catches for 10 yards?
10 yards.
Something like that. I mean, that's unacceptable.
I hate to say it, but Jermaine Burton, in that game, he played like a C- John Mechie.
Yeah.
Couldn't get any separation.
Yeah,
no.
I mean, you would take Slade Bolden over him at the moment.
Yeah.
In a heartbeat. And then he'd go back to Georgia and he wouldn't beat out Ladd McConkey.
And not to throw salt into the room here, but I was telling the guys before you got on, Corey, Utah State got absolutely killed by Weber State last week, 35-7.
A state pride right there. Weber State looking to become Utah State champs.
Right.
Yeah, it's not a good day if you're an Aggie because Utah State was supposed to be they're the Aggies, by the way.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be contenders in the Mountain West. So there you go.
Yep.
That's
Associate producer Becky says that Bama's defense should be required to practice with mittens on. That might help with the urge to tackle via the face mask.
Yeah.
Did a lot Becky of that is spitting hot fire tonight, folks.
There you go. Becky is on point. That's right on. That's our producer right there. She's a professional producer. Pro. She's a pro.
Yeah. And she's manning the chat room as well. She's multitasking. She's doing something that I can't do. So,
and I feel like I know the answer to this, but John just mentioned in the comments, he was saying that Bama's defense was just playing out of their minds. Texas is going to be in the SEC very soon. I know they have good athletes and everything, but do you think this was more of Texas being better than we thought they were, or more of Bama just having a bad day?
I think Texas had a really good game plan.
They had a great game plan.
Because Sark knows them. And Gary Patterson, I didn't realize this until I saw him on the sidelines. Like, oh, they hired Gary Patterson as a senior defensive consultant. Dude absolutely pulled Bill O'Brien's pants down and gave him a freaking noogie at midfield.
That game reminded me of that first Ole Miss Lane Kiffin game against Bama.
Yeah.
It was different because Ole Miss didn't have a defense at that point. But it was like one of those things where Saban was – you could actually tell that Saban was a little bit caught off guard. And seeing Bama get rattled, I mean, that's just something you don't see. But they were absolutely out of sorts for 2 quarters.
Yeah.
They were out of sorts up until that final drive.
Yeah, Bryce Young's just special. He's the GOAT of goats at Alabama.
He's got ice in his veins.
Yeah.
He don't get rattled. I mean, that move that he did with that blitzing corner, I mean, God. It was crazy. And then, of course, Alabama finally has a kicker for the first time under Saban that can actually make a 52-yarder or a game-winning field goal without, any kind of pressure. Without I'm having to do this. I can actually watch them now.
Texas had a kicker. His last name was Auburn.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like, come on, guys. Y'all, that's too on the nose. That's too try hard.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bert Auburn.
That's great.
At first, when they announced him, I thought his name was Beat Auburn. I'm like, why would you name him?
Well, we
Beat?
will.
Yeah.
Roll damn tide.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we got a kicker named Auburn.
Yeah.
Roll Tide.
That kicker named Auburn missed a 17-yard field goal that was actually the difference in the game. And also, if that safety was called correctly, because that
That's the
was
other
an
thing.
actual safety,
Yeah, it was.
that another thing, that field goal doesn't matter. Texas should have won that game. That was a moral loss for Alabama.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was. Hudson Card played out of his mind coming in
He did.
relief for Quinn Ewers.
How good is Quinn Ewers? Oh my
Quinn Ewers
goodness!
is really good.
Arch Manning's not beating that kid out.
No,
If you
that kid's
played the
special.
entire game, we probably get beat by 2 or 3 touchdowns.
Yeah,
Honestly.
because on that first drive, there was 2 touchdowns dropped, where he
Yeah.
just dropped it in the bucket, and the guy dropped the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It-
that first drive, he lays out a freaking dime, and the dude drops it.
Yep.
I'm like, oh god.
Although, Jake, in your defense, I don't want to start discussing would have lost if the other team's quarterback hadn't gone down, because that could go badly for both of us in this one. So,
Yeah,
That's true.
yeah, absolutely.
but Quinn
Like,
Ewers was excellent.
it
Well,
was
so-
slow, but
Quinn Ewers looks like Joe Dirt. I don't care what anybody says. He looks like Joe Dirt.
He
I
does.
love it.
Yeah.
He does.
Can't argue with that.
Joe Dierte, yes.
He's like an in shape Joe Dirt. He's like his bully big brother.
Mm-hmm.
Oh Lord.
John Dierte. All right, so Jeb, let's talk about your almost quarterback situation there with Keaton Slovis going down, Pat Narduzzi, questionable call to play for overtime and not go for the win, things like that. You guys squeaked out of there. You know, I thought this game was. I thought Tennessee was going to roll.
Me too.
Pitt is a lot better than I thought they were, and their backup quarterback is actually a lot better than I thought he was. He had some freaking moxie and some stones there at the end of the game to tie it up. So
Yeah, he was pretty good at staying in the pocket and finding his guy under pressure, because Tennessee got more pressure than they've gotten in a long time. I actually thought the defense looked much better than I thought they would, which was surprising. Offense just was not firing on all cylinders. It was something. I mean, it started off terrible. They got better. I know Hooker actually by the end of the game was playing well, but I don't know what took so long for them to get started. And you've got to. I still don't think that Pitt is as good as 17 in the nation, or where they were ranked, to begin the season for sure. But I do think they played really well. They played tough. They played hard. We barely walked out of that one with a win, and probably shouldn't have, honestly. But
Pitt
Hey.
barely
Oh, we did.
beat West Virginia, and West Virginia got taken down by the Jayhawks. Lance
Yeah.
Leopold doing
dude,
the
rock
Lord's work.
chalk,
Yes.
rock
Dude,
chalk.
Break up the state of
Jayhawk.
Kansas. Break up the state of Kansas. I love that. 90s football for everybody. I love it.
Yeah.
That's the
Heck
reason
yeah, man.
Nebraska's going to try and hire one of them, because they're going to try and recreate the 90s.
We're just
They
gonna have
do
the 90s in
something.
the breadbasket there.
Uh,
They're gonna go hire. They're gonna go hire whoever's coaching the Jackrabbits. That's what they're gonna do.
oh, San Diego State. That's my team.
Mm-hmm.
South Dakota State.
South Dakota State. Yeah, San Diego State. They're the Aztecs.
They got Brady
can't-
Hoke. You don't want him.
No.
He's already tried the Big Ten thing and failed. Well, what about this? What about this albatross that's sitting on us? Appy State dominating Texas 8-4. Just
Yeah.
running,
No.
cramming
you,
it.
you misspoke.
No.
It's Texas
Yeah.
4-8.
Texas 4-8 now.
Texas
Yes.
4-8. So I found Jimbo's playbook right here. I found his
Is there
call
4
shot.
wins that they can get now? This
is Jimbo on the sideline.
Actually, I think Jimbo needs to upgrade to Tecmo Super Bowl as opposed to Tecmo Bowl. I
Yeah.
think if he does that, Devin Achane with the Bo Jackson stuff from Tecmo Bowl, he maybe needs 4 more plays. If he can do
Yeah.
that, Texas A&M might be successful.
For $31 million,
$31 million.
you go out and get dominated in the running game
Mhm.
by Appalachian State.
Yeah.
Jimbo's buyout's like $75 million. They can't fire him.
No, they're stuck
They
with him.
can't.
There's going to be some crazy oil tycoon that will. They will come up with that money. His buyout is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So awesome.
I mean, Corey, I was telling the guys before we got on again, another thing was when Texas A&M tied that game, it still didn't feel like they had any kind of momentum. And I had a feeling they was not going to win still at that point.
No, it's just like one of those things where it's like, okay, well, you tied the game against Appy State.
Right.
But Appy State, Chase Bryce, former 5-star, signed at Clemson, transferred to Appy State for more playing time because he couldn't beat out Trevor Lawrence, who could. So he goes to App State and just freaking is the king of Boone, dude. He comes in, not an ounce of sweat. He's just like, all right, guys, let's just freaking run this thing. And they just crammed it down their throat, went down there, kicked a field goal to go ahead, and then they just never looked back.
And just hang that stretch play that they run in the Louvre. It's absolute perfection.
And they read it over and over and over and over and over again.
Oh.
And A&M had no answer.
No.
I never felt like a 17-14 game was just a dominant blowout fest, but that was.
Yeah.
Because you saw Jimbo. Sorry, Steve. You saw Jimbo over there. He was befuddled with his notebook and his papers flying everywhere, and he can't find stuff. His glasses are at his nose, and he looks befuddled. He's trying to figure out what's going on, and meanwhile, what's going on is Appy State is ramming it down your throat.
It's crazy.
Yeah, you look at it. Appy State ran inside and outside zone combined probably for 40 out of 60 plays. And they just did it out of 18 different formations with all kinds of window dressing on it. And Texas A&M, with all of their 5-stars everywhere, their defensive line got whooped. Their 5-stars were just completely befuddled. Their eyes were in the wrong places. They only gave up like 320 yards. So it wasn't one of those things where Appy State ran for 330 against them. But then you combine that with the fact their offense is just Devin Achane and a bunch of anemic players to where it just felt like it's like when Appy State took the lead, it's like, oh, A&M's not winning this game.
Yeah.
They can't score 3 points.
You got a bunch of guys that don't know what the heck they're doing. They're like,
they can't get past the 50.
Have an offense. You can't. Like they weren't going to move the ball. It didn't matter. And it was that final drive that really just like drove the nail in the coffin. Yep. Like that final drive where App State gets on the 15 and they just all runs, just boom, 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 and then they hit that big one down the sideline.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, our Appy State's like, 4-minute offense. Yeah, we got this.
Yeah,
we'll be all right.
We got it.
Cool.
They're doing the Jennifer Lawrence thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gotcha. Chase Bryce is like, I don't have to throw a single pass in the second half. And we're going to win. All right.
Absolutely nuts.
Good with me.
Yeah. And game days are rewarding App State by going there this week. So,
heck yeah,
game day is rewarding the whole Sun Belt for App State, Georgia Southern, and
Marshall.
Who's the other?
Marshall. Yep.
God, I should have known that.
Holy
they are Marshall, right?
We are Marshall.
Marshall. I kept hearing jokes that Matthew McConaughey came back and coached him.
Oh my goodness. If Texas would have won that game, if he'd have made that 17 or 18-yard field goal and Marshall beat Notre Dame, how many Matthew McConaughey gifts would we have seen Saturday?
Oh,
A
Lord.
bunch.
Yeah.
So
the internet would have been broken.
Yeah. Dude, not to be Sunbelt after dark, but that Marshall, that game was fun because you saw another team that was completely befuddled. You saw a head coach that was just like, oh, what the hell's going on? Oh, my God.
Mm-hmm.
He saw the world crashing in front of him. He's like, I'm about to go 0-3 at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
And Lou Fickle's just sitting back going,
Mm-hmm.
You
Yep.
should have called me the first time.
Yeah. See what happens?
Mhm.
Okay. You Wonder Boy over here. I mean, ultimately he's going to be fine, but right now it's kind of rough.
Well, their quarterback went down too, so.
And Coastal is not even one of the teams we're talking about with these upset wins.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
Jamie Chadwell just taking the weekend off, I guess.
Yes, sir. Come on, Jamie.
Oh, by the way, James Madison in week 2, I think put a 60 burger on somebody.
Yeah, they did.
Oh. They're going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Sun Belt. Replace the ACC with a Sun Belt.
Yeah, seriously, the Sun Belt
Yeah.
is what the American was before.
Sun Belt is by far the best conference. They did a good job adding those
Yeah.
teams that they added.
They did put 6-3 up on Norfolk State.
So
State,
rest
not state.
so rest in peace Desmond Howard's pick to win the national championship. Texas 4-8. Speaking of Texas 4-8, they don't get to lick their wounds this weekend. They welcome the Canes of Miami. The U.
We're going to talk about that in a couple of minutes, but
Yeah,
that one's intriguing.
it is.
Intriguing.
Yeah. Oh, did y'all see the tweet came out today that all the crocodiles went on this Brazilian beach? There's like 1,000 of them. They just took. You saw that, right?
I saw the video of it.
Yeah, I just can't believe Kentucky would do that to them.
That's good.
Nice.
Corey's just shaking his head.
Corey's done. He's done.
I looked like Jimbo there. I was befuddled.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. I was thinking of another joke, and I'm like, oh, Kentucky. Yeah, he's going to Kentucky here. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go.
But seriously, there's like 1,000 alligators or crocodiles on a beach in Brazil. It's absolutely nuts. There's video of it.
Yeah, there's video of a dude like driving a boat over these things, and they're like, imagine if that boat tips over because you're running over a bunch of alligators.
Yeah. Bye, dude.
Yeah.
Because it ain't a big boat.
Wouldn't
It's a
even
little
fight,
canoe.
just let it go.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody needs to make a TikTok. Doesn't matter if it kills them. They need to make a TikTok. If they survive it, it'll be worth it for 15 minutes.
Yeah, really.
People will move on. Yeah, that was a whole lot of absolutely no on that.
All right, who got Corey a thesaurus?
I found one. It was one of the books that didn't get burned in the library. It was hidden. It was hidden in the coloring books.
There we go.
Yeah. You heard about John's at LSU. There was apparently a fire in Auburn Library like 15 years ago, and like 65% of the books were destroyed, and like 3 of them weren't even colored.
Yes.
Yeah. That's a loss.
Yeah. I think it was Stacey Spurrier was
Yeah,
saying
that was Steve Spurrier came up with that one.
Yeah.
Oh, he was a treasure.
Man, he was.
Whatever.
Whenever Steve Spurrier passes away, that day I'm wearing black. I don't care. He's not even my school. I'm wearing black that day.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, do we want to move on to next week, or do we want to talk about Kentucky's utter dominance?
Pick 6 by Keydron Smith, Ole Miss transfer. There's 2 Ole Miss transfers playing on the defense.
There you go. That was a mighty fine touchdown pass from Anthony Richardson to Keydron Smith. I mean, hit him right in stride.
Oh, my goodness. He didn't have to even slow down. It was almost when they threw the ball over to Keydron Smith, and he looked surprised that nobody was around him. The receiver's running like a post, and quarterback threw a hitch. And he was like, what is going on?
Keydron Smith's like, oh, shit, I got beat. And then the ball pops up in his head, and he's like, wait a second. I can run.
Yeah.
It was like in those early Nintendo games when you were playing football, and it wasn't necessarily Tecmo Bowl, but whenever you get in just trying to get rid of the ball, and it just wouldn't go anywhere near the receiver. It would go like 6 yards out of bounds, and the receiver's on the left side of the field, and you're like, what is going on? That's what that was. It's like it wasn't even completely attached. Kentucky absolutely owned Florida that game, though. Florida's not going to beat Tennessee. 2-2 is a win start for Florida. The media absolutely overreacted on that Utah win. And by the way, Utah took out some vengeance.
How about Kentucky completely just had Billy Napier shook on that 4th down where he went for it, where he didn't have to? It was like in the 3rd quarter, I think.
Yeah.
and he went for it on a 4th down, and you could tell he was just like shell shocked. Like, what am I doing here? Like, because he was. I mean, Will Levis had not given anybody really any reason to be shell shocked leading into this game, and he didn't even have that great of a game. The defense was outstanding, but he was good enough to win. And he was good enough to. And Billy Napier probably was thinking, "Oh boy, this is the league I'm in.
Yeah,
let's buckle up."
This feels like whenever they go up to Knoxville in 2 weeks, it's going to be a little bit of a frustration game, and I think Tennessee's going to take out about 20 years on Florida in that game.
God, I hope so.
Yeah,
and I don't like giving a lot of credit to Kentucky, but I am thankful for them because I was a little down after Kentucky beat up Utah as bad as they did. I really didn't think we were going to have much of a chance. And Kentucky just showed. I guess they are. I don't know. Was he good the first week, or was it looks like he's just going to be real up and down?
I wouldn't say they beat up.
Yeah, it was on the last play of the game, basically.
I mean, they hung with them. I mean, Utah maybe not as good as we thought they were, but
it's not being nearly as good.
Before we move on to this Lincoln Riley hype that they did on every single quarterback seemingly all the time. I mean, he's just an okay quarterback. He's probably a little bit better than their grad assistant, but not much.
Yeah, I mean, he had some good numbers in the second half against Arkansas last week, but let's jump ahead. Let's jump to this week's games. I guess since we're talking about Spencer Rattler, we can start with Georgia and South Carolina.
Sorry.
Dogs. Yeah, they're 24.5 point favorites coming into Columbia. We'll make our official selections later, but I think all Georgia fans have a little bit, and I saw this on our message boards, RPTSD, RPTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, because so many times Georgia has waltzed into Columbia heavy favorites and either barely scratched through or took a big fat L. And this is one of those games. It's a noon kick. It's not going to be 100 degrees like it normally is in September at noon when teams play there, but it is not a friendly environment. If you listen to our show, Bleav In Georgia Dawgs, Israel talks about South Carolina and how bad it was. He's played at LSU. He's played in Baton Rouge. He's played at Oklahoma State, which is a rowdy crowd. He said South Carolina is by far the worst, most ruthless fan base that he played against, in his opinion.
Yeah. In 2009, when Ole Miss went there, I think Ole Miss was ranked 3rd or 4th in the country, and they went up into Columbia. And that stadium was just a cauldron. It doesn't look like much. It almost looks like Auburn and Clemson, all those stadiums. They all look about the same.
Little cookie cutter college stadium.
Yeah, but apparently that holds the noise in pretty seriously, and that's a pretty difficult place to play.
When they get cranked up with sandstorm and it's a noon kick and it's about 1,000,000 degrees, everything's right there on top of you, like suffocating you. You see the towels flying. It's pretty intimidating. Now, I don't think that's going to be the case here, but it's pretty intimidating atmosphere. But South Carolina has 2 defensive starters out. That's not good. They have Spencer Rattler, who hadn't seen a defense anywhere close to what he's going to see Saturday.
Nope.
And then what he's going to see against Kentucky later on in the season, and even what he's going to see against Florida when they play Florida. So this is going to be welcome to the SEC moment for Spencer Rattler. I see it kind of like what Bo Nix experienced at Auburn and Oregon against Georgia. I see it going much of that way, where ain't a whole lot of touchdowns, a whole lot of picks, a whole lot of bad decisions, a whole lot of he can't do anything because they have nothing around him. First of all, he's not good. Second of all, he's got some talent, and talent will take him. Talent will allow him to make some plays. But when you need it and you need to reach down there, he ain't got it. You could see it on QB1. You could see it when he was at Oklahoma. And you're about to see it again.
I was sitting here thinking, it was like the only chance that South Carolina has in this game is if their defense really shows up and they can hold Georgia to 17 points or less.
It's like that 2019 game where Jake Fromm threw 4 interceptions. That's their chance.
That is their only chance, because if Georgia scores points, if Georgia can score, there's no way South Carolina is going to be able to keep up. You need what's his name with his tight fade? What's his nickname now? Stequavius. To throw 4 picks and look like a 2-star quarterback, Jones County Junior College transfer. That's what you need. You don't need somebody that is really calm and collected and throwing for 700 yards in 2 games. That's not the guy you need to see coming out that tunnel. But this is not a good situation for the South Carolina Gamecocks. They're getting better. South Carolina is getting better. It's just not going to be this year. It's kind of like Brian Kelly.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, Brian Kelly and LSU is going to win games. It's not going to be this year, but they're going to win games.
And it may get worse before it gets better. But
yes, Saban went 6-6 in year 1 with the loss to Louisiana Monroe.
And had to absolutely call every favor to the football gods to beat Colorado in the Independence Bowl to go 7-6.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that year. That year was special. But for South Carolina, their defense is going to have to come through. They're going to have to, yeah.
John brought up something. He says more annoying, the rooster call at South Carolina, cowbells, or Rocky Top. And I have a 4th one, but I'm going to let you guys, what do y'all say?
Rocky
Cowbells.
Rocky
Cowbells.
Top. Rocky Top.
All right, John, you're banned. Hold on, let me figure out how to do that.
They don't do the rooster call all the time.
They don't do They don't do Rocky Top. They do Rocky Top every 5 seconds.
They did Rocky Top on a touchback last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, John, you're already banned. Stop digging your hole deeper.
Basically, the most annoying thing in the
would you
Southeastern
want
Conference, cowbells obviously would be on that list, but the most annoying thing is that dang foghorn at Vanderbilt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, they don't use it much. So.
Yeah, they only play it after touchdown, so you don't hear it very often. But whenever I was the video coordinator at Ole Miss, Vandy would just super great guys and everything. They put the opposing team's video cameras right in front of the foghorn.
Oh, so we got okay. Now it's personal.
Well, it can't be. It can't be Rocky Top, because you can't call yourself a Southerner and say the most annoying thing is a Dolly Parton song. I'm sorry, you can't do it.
I'm not a Dolly Parton fan, so we're good.
It ain't a Dolly Parton song. It's a bastardized version by the Pride of the Southland band that play it 1.5 million times.
Are you saying they nickelback her song?
I think Jeb just lost his Tennessee card.
Yeah.
I know it's not her original
It's
song.
the Osborne brothers.
I know
Yeah.
she didn't write the song.
Well done,
okay.
You should have Googled that.
No.
You Google everything else.
I
Should have Googled that.
I'm not sure I could have said
Yeah.
Osborne Brothers, but I know she didn't write it originally.
Jeb, I do want to
No.
appreciate you. My foghorn comment completely out the window now. She's not even thinking about that.
Becky just came and just Vince Carter dunked on you.
You hush, guys.
She most definitely has sung it more
Like
than once.
Vince
More than
Carter
one
on the
version.
7-foot Frenchie in
Okay.
the Olympics. Just dunked
Everybody in the
all
state of
over you.
Tennessee has sung Rocky Top multiple times.
Exactly.
You're
So
about to
that
get your
you can't say
Osborne
Dolly
brothers.
Parton no more than you can say like John Smith playing at the stage on a Thursday at 2 p.m.
No, that's not true. They haven't recorded it.
I'm
Now,
going to educate
doesn't
you on
count.
the Osborne brothers soon.
How many people
There you go.
recorded it?
Now, Jeb, I'll say this: if South Carolina played the rooster call every time Shane Beamer farted downwind, that would probably be the most annoying thing. But when Tennessee plays Rocky Top every time
my
somebody
God.
waves a towel or
It's 'cause
just
it's
puts their
amazing.
helmet on, it's annoying.
If you had something that amazing, you'd play it a lot too. You just
Yeah,
don't.
Pitt
Don't get
will
mad
kick
at us
off.
for that. It's not our
It's
fault.
7 yards deep. Nobody catches the ball. It's a touchback. First down, Tennessee at the 25-yard line.
I'm just saying y'all are all coming off really bitter that y'all have nothing that good.
No,
I'm sorry.
The most fun
Varsity
thing
is
ever,
good.
and I hate that Tennessee had to cancel that game today. But Oklahoma and Tennessee, where one side's playing Boomer Sooner, the other side's playing Rocky Top, and both of them play it 50 times in one game, and it's like, what is going on? Learn something else.
I
You
would
know,
say we're not getting that game too.
Tennessee
we
plays
will,
the
but-
VOLS, with a V. Oh, they do all that, and you're like, hey. Whenever they
Jeb.
did Gladiator, we were like, look at this. This is something else. Variety.
Jeb, did Tennessee fans overtake Notre Dame Stadium a few years ago? No, I think not.
No.
Yeah, it was a sea of red in South Bend when Georgia played Notre Dame. And they played the fourth quarter Krypton thing. You saw the cell phone lights. And Notre Dame got so flustered that they had to play some Post Malone, congratulations or something, to drown it out. And they still couldn't drown it out. That's how crazy it was.
Wow.
Well, I'm glad.
And-
I'm
and-
glad.
John, in 2004, as I was walking out of the stadium, a gaggle of drunk Tennessee girls with a pom-tom was hitting me in the face with it, saying it's great to be a Tennessee Vol. So, yeah, I understand the other end of that.
Hey, some people pay for that.
And some people skip past that part. Not
Becky's still on it.
Story to go.
She
A
loves
gaggle
Osborne
of Tennessee
brothers, but I'm
sorority
sorry.
girls. I expect that one to go differently. Okay, we're already
Yeah,
off the rails.
it's official. You owe us hibachi on your Blackstone sometime in the next couple of weeks. Yeah, I mean, it has to happen now. Becky is like doing like the father from that '70s show. That's what she looks like right now.
Not my fault. The more acceptable and better version is Dolly Parton's. It just is. I'm sorry.
So are you saying
well,
the
there it
acceptable
goes.
version of Wagon Wheel
There
is
it
Darius
goes.
Rucker?
Well,
There's nothing good at
Chris
Dolly
Rucker's not
Parton's.
bad, but what Dolly Parton?
Now Becky,
Freaking national
Becky's
treasure.
going to have an aneurysm. Okay, so we.
Becky, do you know
Becky's
Jeb
like, move
prefers,
along
do you know Jeb prefers the Darius Rucker version
of Wagon Wheel.
Wagon Wheel?
Stop.
What's wrong with Darius Rucker?
Becky says she just
pretty
wishes
amazing.
there was a country version of Nickelback.
Move
that's-
along. Move along.
I think we
Gospel
all.
Flats?
I think we all want a country version.
Florida Georgia Line has become a character to themselves.
Bob
Yeah, I'll give you that one.
They're more
Bob
versus done.
Head.
All right. Let's move along to the next game. Becky's gonna have an aneurysm. I hate that y'all can't see this. This was pretty good. Jeb broke his sister.
Uh,
Well,
After,
Jeb.
on him. After
I'll cook-
she absolutely jammed on him.
I'll cook her hibachi and teach her about real music later.
Oh,
Actually-
Becky, off the top rope.
Actually, the fun thing with Becky's playlist, every time we get in the pool, she has a playlist that she demands to play, and everybody gets in the pool complains about her music at some point. It's become a normal thing.
I can play them on my wife's playlist all the time.
What's on this pool here? What's on this playlist?
You name it, it's on there. They're just a bunch of babies. They don't know good music.
If it was made in the 40s and 50s, she's probably got it on there.
Or if
What's
it's
wrong with that?
She's got some
bluegrass
Lawrence
or
Welk
Arabic.
on there.
What is
Or if
wrong
it
with
sounds like it should have
bluegrass?
been played in the 40s.
Arabic?
She does have an Arabic singer on there.
El Farik. Y'all need to look him up. He's fantastic. I don't so much like his
Yeah.
rap, but his songs
Yeah,
are great.
this is what I deal with.
I don't.
Hey.
I don't think she has the chicks on there, but I'm not sure.
Hey,
I probably have a
Is
song or
that-
two.
the daggone bluegrass. I'm down. I love bluegrass.
Yeah, Dixie
Trampled by
Chicks is on my
Turtles,
playlist,
little
John.
modern bluegrass.
Trampled by turtles.
Yep.
Yes. I mean, you give me a good banjo, boy. Give me,
Look up
I
Trampled
love
by
good banjo.
Turtles later.
yes. Please do. That is y'all's homework for the week.
We have veered dangerously off of this week's football game.
Just don't give anybody from North Georgia a banjo, and you're good. All right, so
Yeah.
I'm from Atlanta. I'm safe. All right,
Yes, John. Bottle's shining. I'm ready to go.
So, LSU. No,
So speaking of banjos,
Irish music.
speaking of banjos and weirdos, A&M hosts Miami.
Oh,
I like that segue.
Yes.
Anybody
tried
see
to
that
make a
midnight?
segue.
That was an attempt. Did anybody see the midnight yell practice video?
Oh yeah, that was
No.
so bad. And
What's
it
it?
made even worse by Texas A&M trying to file copyrights on all of them to get them take it down, and then it just kept getting downloaded and put up by different people. And
Saying, "Hey, please don't distribute this if you see this video." Texas A&M wants it down, so keep it.
yeah, it's so bad. It's a game that Texas A&M's favored by 5.5 or something like that.
Yeah, how?
And
Yes,
How?
that's my question. How?
yeah.
How? You have Miami, who's been putting up oodles of points. There's another thesaurus word there. Miami has Tyler Van Dyke, and you're going to trot out Haynes King, and you think you're 5-point favorites? You'd be lucky to score 5 points.
Would you say
Miami
they scored
is
a plethora of
good.
points?
Plethora. Yeah, Miami will. Miami will score
Yeah.
a plethora of points.
A&M will
You
not.
say plethora.
Plethora. Yes. So, like, I really honestly don't know how. I don't know how they're going to contain Tyler Van Dyke. He is. I mean, they're talking about all ACC player of the year type stuff. Like Miami, you watch Miami play, you want to talk about a drastic change in culture, going from Manny Diaz to Mario Cristobal, night and day.
Yeah. Yeah, the funny thing is Mario Cristobal, when he coached FIU, it did not go well at all. So I was kind of
FIU?
surprised. Florida International University.
It's FIU.
Yeah, FIU.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
I said it's FIU.
Yeah.
How
but
did you
It just
expect
didn't
it?
go well. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
How would
he
you
went to
expect that?
Oregon. I expected to go in a different way. Lane Kiffin, like FAU, was not a winning program, and he took them to two conference titles in 3 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of expected it to look like that. Now, FIU is a little bit different situation. They're a little bit poorer school.
Yeah, I mean,
than
I wasn't trying to
FAU,
correct
but-
you. I wasn't
yeah.
trying to correct you. I was saying, yes, it's FIU. What do you expect?
Yeah.
Nobody does well there. It's a tough, like Butch Davis doesn't, like, it's a tough place to win. It's a tough place to do. Like, if you just have a competent program, like, they're going to build a statue for you.
Butch Davis, by the way, he took the Browns job and then took the FIU job.
Yeah.
He's like the guy that would go out on a date or go out to the bar and just completely shotgun method it. Yeah, just
What's wrong with
absolutely.
that?
He is not saying no. No is not in his vocabulary.
What's wrong with that?
I was going to say FIU, it may have been 10, 15 years ago, but they had a coach that was like, he wore like a tie and a suit, and he was like 80 years old coach. I can't think of what his name was, but they actually had a pretty good team because they was like on ESPN and stuff. They won like 19 games.
Jake, I think that was FAU, and that was Howard Schnellenberger.
That might have been it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
that's it.
FAU. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like 10, 15 years ago was Cristobal. So
I remember it was one of the FU schools anyway. Yeah.
The FU schools. Yeah.
Yeah. The I or the A, I couldn't remember.
Hey, Roland. Appreciate the comment.
Nah. Corey looks pretty.
That's right. Dang right, I look pretty.
I mean Kirby. Kirby looks pretty.
yeah,
Cassie, if you only knew how tired I was. I'm being held together by duct tape and bubble gum here.
Who do you got Friday?
Did you just make
We
a
have
new
Marshall
Newberg?
County.
Marshall
MacGyver.
County, are they good?
McGruber. Yeah, they're 4-0 right now. They just beat the holy hell out of Tullahoma, who won the state
Okay.
championship. Yeah, they're good.
I still can't picture Tullahoma being good at football.
I know.
They won the state championship.
I know. I can't picture that at all.
Start buying meth from the students. Come on, my students don't make meth.
Oh man! He
buying
said,
weed.
he said bye.
Hey, that would require them being really good at chemistry, though. So,
That's a good
They all
point.
suck at chemistry, so they all skip that class.
Should be at least
Oh,
able to
man.
get Adderall or something.
All right, but anyway, I think Miami will take that fairly easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think unless they make a significant change at quarterback, unless Max Johnson comes in and makes a huge difference. There's a reason why Max Johnson's not starting, whether it be Jimbo's a or Max Johnson maybe just isn't as good as we thought. So I have no idea.
Yeah, he could just have a bias thing against left-handers. That's possible.
Could be because
I'm just putting that out there. People can take and do with it what they will. But Jimbo
back in the
Fisher is
olden
biased
days-
against left-handers.
because back in the olden days, you didn't have left-handed quarterbacks.
Could you imagine paying your coach that much money and then finding out he has something as stupid as a bias against left-handed quarterbacks?
Well, they don't want to
Poor
waste any money buying left-handed footballs.
No, they don't.
They got to. They're going to use all their money to buy defensive linemen who can't stop the run.
How much
against
money is that
State.
going around? That joke just doesn't work for them. They'll apparently spend money on anything.
They just forgot.
We almost just lost that clean rating. Almost.
I think I said, whatever. Coffee Corey, LOL. I hate coffee. It's probably
me
a problem,
too.
right?
What is wrong with y'all?
I can't stand coffee.
I hate coffee.
I'm not a coffee drinker either. So
I drink water and Diet Coke. That's it.
Becky lives on it though. She has a Keurig and she's just really happy that
That's what we got.
I don't take her K-cups.
I'm Coke Zero, sweet tea, water, Gatorade, and Avocare Spark. That's what I'm at.
Okay.
That's where I'm at.
John, is Jimbo going to buy him?
What? Maybe Jimbo can recruit Kelvin Benjamin.
You mean
Do you
buy
have eligibility left?
Kelvin Benjamin?
Yeah. I think you misspelled buy there. You
Yeah.
misspelled
Yeah,
purchase.
Isn't Kelvin Benjamin like 36 years old?
Yeah.
He's not too old to go get his master's.
Yeah. Jameis Winston. He's the one that caught Jameis Winston that winning touchdown pass against the barn.
Yep.
I think so, yeah.
Uh-huh.
The barn.
Useless football knowledge. I got it.
Who scored the game-winning touchdown for FSU 2013? Kelvin Benjamin.
I think it was on fourth
All right.
down too. All right. Let's do picks.
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 Picks. All right. So
Picks.
we move into our pick segment. Once again, to remind you, I am Corey Burton of the Bleav In Georgia Dawgs podcast, Illegal Motion, and of course, right here, SEC After Dark. Joining me is Stephen Willis,
Take that
Locked
down.
on Ole Miss, Jake Thomas, Tide Talk Sports, Tide Talk Live. Which one is it? You changed it recently.
Tide Talk
I had a brain
Live.
fart.
Yeah.
There you go. I had it right.
And Jeb's a person.
And Jeb's a
And
person
Jeb's
who
a
just
person.
got dunked on by his sister.
He's
All right,
a
so we're
beard.
gonna change up the order. Jeb, you're gonna go first this week.
Yay!
Then I'm gonna go. Then Jake's gonna go. Then Steve, and then Becky. That's gonna be the order. All right. So help me and my ADD remember that order, guys. Okay.
Yeah. Good luck.
So, yeah, we got a lot of picks. So
Yeah,
definitely good luck.
at the bottom, it's been updated, by the way, the overall records. Corey's in first place right now at 20-6.
That's right. And then followed by Steve at 19-7, followed by Jeb at 17-9, and then Jake and Becky are sitting at 15-11. So
yeah, let's go.
this week,
No winning
Jeb,
record.
Georgia travels into Columbia, South Carolina. The line is minus 24.5. Are you buying it or are you taking the Gamecocks?
I'm taking Georgia to cover the spread. I don't, again, these high spreads in SEC games always worry me a bit. But South Carolina they offensively haven't been able to do much, and Georgia, their defense is maybe a step back from last year, but it's still amazing, and their offense seems to me to have gotten better. So right now, I'm not going to pick against Georgia till they hit a team that's much better than South Carolina.
Absolutely. And I was nervous with the big spread against Oregon, first game of the year. Don't know what to expect. They blew that one completely out of the water. They still have not given up a touchdown, even though they played Samford last week. But I'm taking the Dogs until I can't take the Dogs any further.
Yeah, I'm.
Or Jake. Yeah.
Go ahead, Jake.
See, I already forgot. All right.
Yeah, I forgot.
There you go, Jake.
Yeah. I'm taking Georgia. I think they're the better team right now. Columbus is a tough place to play at, but I don't think Georgia gets rattled early. I think they come out, score often, and then by the second half, they're probably resting some guys that need rest if they need rest because they've blown everybody out so far, and they got pretty good rest in the second half of the game so far.
Yes, they have. Steve?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm going to take Georgia. This is one of those games. I have no faith in South Carolina at this point, and I certainly don't have faith against that Georgia team, which is going to probably be the best team South Carolina plays this year. If you tell me they lose 38-7, I buy it. I just think Georgia's going to take this.
Becky?
Okay, so I've not been doing super great on my picks. So I thought today I'm going to correct this. I'm going to look up podcasts on Spotify, listen to some other opinions, and figure out where I'm going wrong, right? So I type in SEC, look at the results. Clearly, my phone doesn't think I can spell. So long story short, I had a fantastic day at work, but I don't know anything else about these games. So just because I think it's disrespectful, I'm going with South Carolina.
All right.
Nice.
Not a clean sweep.
Going bold.
I like it.
No, not a clean sweep. A couple games that are clean sweeps. The Mighty Penguins of Youngstown State travels into Lexington to play Kentucky, and Abilene Christian comes in to take on Missouri, one that they can finally win. So it was a clean sweep on all of those games, so we won't talk about those. Our next game on our slate, Bobby Dodd Stadium, the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets are host to 14.5-point favorite Ole Miss. Jeb, how do you see this one?
Well, Georgia Tech is a team that can sometimes give other teams trouble, with the way they run their offense, or at least in the past, because it's not that way much anymore. And really, Ole Miss is just – I'm definitely going to take Ole Miss to cover this spread. I just think their offense is good enough to beat Georgia Tech fairly handily.
All right,
Who's
Jake.
next?
Actually, that's me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take Ole Miss. I'm gonna take Ole Miss here. It doesn't matter who's playing quarterback. Georgia Tech has shown that after the first quarter, they're not really going to play much defense. They're not really going to have much of anything because they're getting their pregame pump on the sideline where they get the bench presses and all the crazy stuff all the CrossFit stuff that they're doing on the sideline before the game. So, I'm gonna go with Ole Miss here. I think Ole Miss is gonna win big. I think they're gonna cover the 14.5 and then some.
Yeah. I got Ole Miss. First half, Georgia Tech really gave it to Clemson all they wanted until I think it was a block punt that kind of swing things there on that game. But Georgia Tech is getting a little better, but Ole Miss and that offense, I just don't see how they're going to keep up and score with Ole Miss. So I think they'll probably win 21, 24 points.
Yeah, if you look at the Ole Miss, anything you read, everything, Jackson Dart's going to probably take the first start Saturday for Ole Miss. I expect Ole Miss will utilize running backs, and in the past games, they run the ball down the throat because I think Georgia Tech's going to sink a little bit because they are worried about the Lane Kiffin big plays. I'm taking Ole Miss to cover, and also in this game, I really like the under. 61.5 or something like that.
That is that seems like a pretty easy under. Becky, what you got?
I'm going to take Ole Miss too, but secretly in my heart of hearts, I think that it's going to be closer than that. But I can't pick against Ole Miss, so I'll take them.
No, you definitely can. You definitely can't pick my man Buzz. Can't do that. Okay, so our next matchup takes us to Jordan-Hare Stadium in Auburn, Alabama. And that's going to be the Nittany Lions of Penn State coming in. Penn State is 3-point road favorites. It says a lot about where Auburn is. Jeb, what do you got?
Yeah, I just think Auburn is too much of a mess right now. I'm taking Penn State to cover that and win this game.
All right. Absolutely. I think with TJ Finley at quarterback, Auburn is dead. They're going to try some fake juice gimmicks, maybe orange face mask, orange jerseys. They're going to do something with that. Brian Harson's searching for anything. He's just trying to put together a resume so he can get the you-know-what out of there. Trying to keep the clean rating, guys. So I'm not picking Auburn at all. I think Penn State is going to win. They're going to cover. But I'm going to also take the under on that. I don't even know what the under is, but I'm going to take it.
All right.
Yeah. Jordan Hare is a tough place to play, especially I think it's a night game, man, or was it 2:30 game? I can't remember.
2:30 CBS game.
2:30. So it'd be getting dark by the time it gets to the fourth quarter potentially. But Auburn's a mess. I mean, they struggled against San Jose State last week. So I just think Penn State comes in and they weather the storm and win easily.
Yeah, I think the only question is going to be whether or not they wear orange jerseys to go with their orange face mask. Because they're wearing orange face masks, but are they going to wear the orange jerseys? Because the line in this game is not really something that you got to deal with. I think Penn State's going to win this game fairly easily, like 10, 14 points at the end of the day. So, Nittany Lions.
There you go. Becky.
I've got Penn State by at least 2 touchdowns. Auburn is a hot mess. And I like them that way.
So does Jake. So, all right. Our next game. Vandy travels to Northern Illinois. They are 1.5-point underdogs on the road in DeKalb, Illinois. No, Decatur, Illinois.
No.
DeKalb. Decatur or DeKalb? Who cares? Northern Illinois, the Huskies. Vandy was brought back down to earth a little bit by Sam Hartman and the Wake Forest Demon Deacons, which just to the surprise of absolutely nobody. So, Jeb, can they pull it off to start 3-1 and start the chance of we want Bama, we want Bama, we want Bama?
I do think Vanderbilt's going to come back and win this game, so I'm taking them. I think it was last week we just found out that it's not going to be a magical season for Vandy, but it's still going to be a good season for them, at least by Vandy standards. So I think they'll win this game, which they really should. So.
Absolutely. I agree with you here. I think it's going to be, Mike Wright is too special of a player. Yeah, he's combustible. Yeah, he can throw, really bad pick sixes, but he can also do some dynamic stuff as well, especially with his legs. It's pretty much a pick 'em here, just like Al Davis, just win, baby, and that's all they got to do. So I'm taking Vandy here on the road. Jake?
Yeah, I'm taking Vandy as well. And I kind of feel bad for Northern Illinois because they're supposed to be 0-2 against the SEC because I think they play Kentucky either next week or the week after. So but Vandy's gonna take care of business and come down to Tuscaloosa 3-1, and they probably get shellacked. But at least right now they're gonna be 3-1.
Yeah, this game I'm channeling my inner walk hard Dewey Cox and just say wrong team's favored. Wrong team's favored.
Yeah.
And so Vandy's going to roll in this one.
No.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to say that despite Vanderbilt's major faux pas of taking the anchor chain off of their helmets like a bunch of chumps, they're going to pull off the win. And how dare anyone say Northern Illinois is going to beat an SEC team?
But if it was any SEC team, it'd be Vandy. Well, anyway. Yeah.
Jeb.
Attaboy, Jeb. All right, so our next one's going to be a fun one because this is a Alabama hosting ULM. Shades of 2007 come to mind. ULM, Terry Bowden. Bama favored by 50 points.
Okay.
Sets you up for
You
that
tried to
one.
make me quit.
Jeb's like, oh, okay. Yeah, Bama's favored by 50. Jeb,
Yeah.
do you believe it?
Just for anybody's watching the show, anybody that wants to be late to this show, do so at your own risk.
Yeah.
Yes. We're already
Except for me because I'm running everything.
Yeah. Yes.
They can put a bulldog up there.
Yeah, come on, producer.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna dirty up my screen with that. Sorry. We'll find
They're on
something
the
else.
same team, of
There you go.
course.
If you put a gator up there. All right, Jeb, 50 points. Are you buying it?
Yeah, that's a huge spread that Alabama could easily do, but will they is the question. And I don't know. If I'm betting on this one, I might have bet against Alabama, but when it comes to these picks, every time I pick against Alabama, I'm wrong. So I'm going with Alabama to cover this time. But it's
I
I
guess
don't
they're
feel
not
good about
covered, huh?
well, that's what I'm hoping because I really
Yeah.
do every week get them wrong. So
Well, the last time I talked about Alabama getting bored, they did not get bored. I don't think it was a 50-point spread the last time. This is kind of impressive. But I'm going to take Bama. I could see a 59-3 victory here.
Yeah. Remember, Louisiana Monroe beat Saban at Alabama already.
yeah,
Saban's already pissed.
Yeah, this is his revenge game. This might be the whole reason that Nick Saban stayed in coaching. This is just wait. They're going to come back on, and we're going to be able to handle things.
wow. He would be the top person to do that.
And Bryce Young's gonna be
As
throwing
long as
dimes.
Will Anderson doesn't line up 3 yards in the backfield.
Or yeah.
So did Jake officially make his pick?
No, not yet.
Nah.
Jake, why are you
Okay.
picking ULM?
I'm not picking ULM, but I mean, like Jeb said, 50 points spread. My gosh, it's kind of scary to take, but I just know how practice has probably gone this week at Alabama. It had probably not been pretty, and at the end of the game last week, we had a couple of players do the horns down, and if you watch the game at the end of it,
Yeah.
Saban kind of was not happy about that. So I'm sure those guys were probably running stadiums, and the rest of the team probably had a rough week as well. So yeah, I think they can cover it. I'm up for it. Probably like 59 to 6, 59 to 10, something like that. Well, 59-10 won't cover it.
No,
So,
we'll not cover it.
It's like 59 to 6.
Yeah, and I think Saban probably wants them to not cover. He wants this to be another game, like a 28-point win, so he can just completely – because inside that facility it's been a hairdryer for a week. It just sounds like a hairdryer coming at you. I'm taking Alabama to cover this because I've learned after Utah State, whenever that number that you think is too big, it's not. And I think this team crushes bad teams, which is bad for Louisiana Monroe.
That is very bad. Becky.
Okay, well, no doubt Alabama's going to win this game. No doubt. There's also no doubt ULM is not going to lose by 50. So it's absolutely going to be ULM.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry, no.
She's taking the 59-10 route.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't math, but I'm going to assume you backed me
that's
up.
the thing about a line like this. One fumble that Louisiana Monroe jumps on the 15-yard line and punches it in, all of a sudden you can't hit that 50-point number. There's not enough possessions in the day to do it. That's why this is a weird line, and even why Akron is a weird line coming up in a few minutes.
Yeah. Well, we can all agree that Arkansas is going to cover their non-line against Missouri State, so we're gonna clean sweep that one. But stop me if you've heard this one. Mississippi State is a favorite on the road at LSU.
LSU. Wow.
At LSU.
Mike
they are
Norvell
a
broke 'em.
road favorite. Mike
Yeah.
Norvell absolutely broke them. Jeb, do you agree?
I'm going to go with Mississippi State to cover this. I had a tough time with this one. This was probably the hardest one for me to really decide what I thought here. Because with Mike Leach's offense, you just never know. They could easily cover this, just destroy LSU, or they could just come out flat and get beat. I think this one, though, they will come out and play hard and actually win this game by around a touchdown.
Mike Leach was absolutely getting after his team out there in Arizona. They've got something going on there. Will Rogers, I think, is going to have a huge day. LSU, it's like I said, it's going to get worse before it gets better. They're just not in tune. Offense looked dreadful. The offensive line was terrible. Special teams was awful. Kayshon Boutte, no matter what you say, and all the reports of everything's fine, it's fine. It's not fine. He's not happy, and I wouldn't be surprised if I saw him in the transfer portal later, or going to the NFL, or whatever his situation is. I'm not real sure, but I think Mississippi State's going to cover this. They're going to win. It may just be by a field goal, but that covers it. So I'm picking Mississippi State.
Yeah, I'm picking Mississippi State as well. Will Rogers right now leads the SEC in passing yardage right now. He's up there by himself. He's got like 763, I think, right now. I mean, he's a really talented guy. And, of course, this is Mike Leach's third year at Mississippi State. And in his third year, he brings it on. Yeah, it's pretty magical. So we'll see. I think the Magic is still there this week, and I think they do cover and win this game.
I don't know. I'm scared to death of this because I think LSU will win straight up. But the other part of me makes me think the defensive coordinator, who has never seen Mike Leach before, is going to go out there and try and play man from time to time. And that scares me a little bit. I think after they gave up 700 yards passing 2 years ago to Mike Leach, LSU will kind of not do that. So I'm going to take LSU.
You know they're not there anymore, that coaching staff.
No, they're not there anymore, but that film's still there. Everybody in the athletic department talked about KJ Costello throwing for 700 yards. They've all heard about that. If LSU will just play drop 8 and just drop back, they'll be fine. So I'm going to take LSU to win straight up. I don't even need the 3.5 points because I think they are going to play his own defense and frustrate Mississippi State with their athletes. And I also think that is going to get LSU in trouble later on.
All righty then.
All right.
Becky?
All right, well, for totally different
Becky
reasons.
Willis.
Yeah. I'm taking LSU because though I love Mike Leach, I need Mississippi State to be reminded of their place, and their place is not winning against LSU.
All right, then.
All right, well, that was
Steve, did you intentionally put some reverb on her mic to really make her sound like the voice of God?
yeah.
Because bravo if you did. And bravo if it's unintentional.
That was reverberate, Ted.
Sounds
Yeah,
awesome.
no, she the way the mic's positioned, she has to lean over to get to it. I think that
I got too excited talking about Mississippi State hurting, so sorry. Sorry.
They're all gonna
I'm a
die.
novice.
All right, our next game, Tennessee welcomes Akron. It's Joe Moorhead, right? I think,
Yeah.
right?
I think so, yeah.
Tennessee is 47-point favorites. Very odd, weird spread. Jeb, can they cover that?
Yes. And here's why I think that. Because Tennessee had, how their offense is. It's a high power, just fast, up tempo, score a lot of points offense. They had a rough time this last game.
We're going to score more points than you.
And, exactly. I feel like they're going to do to Akron what Utah did after losing to Florida to poor Southern Utah this week. They're going to come out and just pour points on just to prove they can. I think it's going to be one of those things where they just want to work out all the wrinkles. So they're going to bring a lot of people out. They're going to score as many points as they can, work as fast as they're not going to get bored, like you said earlier, or trying to run the clock down to end the game. They're going to keep working on stuff before they have to go to Florida next week. So
56-10 doesn't cover.
I think it's going to be more like 63-10. Maybe 63-3. We'll see. Because that defense is actually playing well. But they always give up something. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm taking Tennessee to cover that.
Well, alrighty then.
Hmm?
I'm going to take Tennessee to cover as well because why not? Akron's pretty bad.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think Tennessee covers, and much like Jeff said, their offense is when it's rolling, it puts up points and puts up points in a hurry. The defense playing a lot better, and it's probably going to continue looking good, especially against Akron this week. So I don't see how 47 points, so including the Alabama game, that's a lot, but I think Tennessee can cover.
Yeah, I'm going with Akron on this. I think it's going to be a 56-10 game. It might be a 56-3, but whenever y'all put the backups in the fourth quarter, Akron's going to score a touchdown, a garbage touchdown, and blow the cover in the fourth quarter. That is my biggest fear in this game, is some fourth-string player from Watertown, Tennessee, missing a tackle.
Watertown.
Did you just say that Tennessee's playing Florida next week, though?
Yes.
Yes.
So, no. Akron. All day, every day. Let's say Tennessee starts running away with it. Don't you think that they might take out some of their players instead of risking them getting injured before
Becky's
Florida?
taking Akron on the dub.
Yes.
No. No, Tennessee's still going to win. Sorry, I was unclear. No, but they're not going to win by 47. No.
I think our backups could beat Akron, so we'll see.
Well, they could.
It's not by 47.
I don't know. Joe Milton kind of made it.
Joe,
Get me started, Jeb.
I couldn't finish that. I tried.
Yeah.
Here comes a. I bet if you ask Joe Milton to throw 40 yards, he can throw 40 yards. But if you ask him to throw 20 yards, he can throw 40 yards.
Yeah.
Love that joke.
Yeah.
That and Joe Milton was the only person that didn't want to throw something in Neyland Stadium.
Oh, stop.
That is so good.
Oh,
I love
I
this
still
joke.
love you, Joe. Don't listen to them.
All right, our next game is building up suspense here. All right, Florida host South Florida, 24-point favorites in the Swamp. Can they bounce back, Jeb?
Yeah. I think I know Florida's offense isn't that great, but South Florida is bad. And Florida's going to put up a lot of points on them this week, look better, and then hopefully get beat pretty bad next week. So I'm taking Florida this week, though.
I'm going to take Florida as well. South Florida just ain't good. And they're probably going to try out some really, really awful-looking uniforms, which is going to make it even worse for them. But I think Florida will bounce back, and you'll see a lot of overhype coming into the Tennessee game with Anthony Richardson having kind of a bounce-back performance. So give me the Gators.
Yeah, I think Florida has a bounce-back game, but, a part of me would like to take South Florida because they may be overlooking towards Tennessee, but I still think they dispatch of South Florida pretty easily and cover that spread.
My mother told me to try and find something nice to say about as many people as possible, and I include South Florida on that thing. And they have a really cool wrought iron fence when you drive by it. They've got the bull horns that are in the wrought iron, and it looks really neat when you drive by it. Yeah, it's pretty cool. But Florida's going to win this game by 41 points.
Yeah.
Y'all are mean. I'm going to take South Florida. Forget y'all. Florida might eke out a win, but South Florida is going to cover.
All right.
All
I
right.
mean, for the sake of me being anti-Gators here, maybe I hope that South Florida pulls a dub, but it's just not going to happen.
I just don't.
All right.
Yeah, I just don't see it.
And last and certainly least, or not least, depending on who you're looking at, Miami rolls into Texas A&M, rolls into College Station. Another midnight yell. I wonder if they have to Google who Miami is. I don't know.
You think their midnight yell might be about Miami of Ohio? Like tons of Roethlisberger jokes?
Yes.
That's a good point.
Yes, it will be. But Texas A&M is still favored. They're 5.5-point favorites over Miami. I don't really get it. Jeb, are you picking Texas A&M?
Absolutely not. Going into this, my biggest fear would have been how big of a spread has Miami got before I decide that A&M can cover. And this actually works out perfect. No, I'm taking Miami. They're definitely going to win that game.
Yeah, the fact that all they have to do is just win. Yeah, I'm taking the Canes in this one. Tyler Van Dyke's going to have a huge day.
Yeah, I don't know how.
Jake.
I don't know how A&M opens up as a favorite. I guess because they're at home. But yeah, I just don't see how they're going to win this game unless Bobby Boucher shows up out of nowhere and just cleans the Van Dyke's grill a couple of times. I just don't see how A&M is going to win this game at all.
Yeah, it's another walk hard thing, Dewey Cox thing. Wrong team favored. Miami is ranked like 13th in the country, and they're touchdown underdog to the number 24 ranked team. It makes no sense. Haynes King is not good. I think we all need to have a conversation about Haynes King, about him not being good, because he isn't.
He's not.
And until they find a quarterback, Texas A&M is going to struggle. It's always about a quarterback.
Yeah.
Always and forever.
Yeah. It's the most important position in sports. And until Texas A&M has a quarterback, they can spend $50 million a recruiting class. They'll sit there and watch the playoffs every year.
Yes, they will. It's head scratching for sure.
I should have took some of that $31 million and bought a quarterback.
They tried.
Yeah, I'm sure they did.
All right, Becky.
Well, using the female logic, 3 of my favorite NFL players of all time are Ed Reed, Warren Sapp, and Ray Lewis. So I'm obviously going with Miami in this one.
Yeah, I think she's a secret Miami fan. I don't think it's even that much of a
Not
secret.
even that low key anymore.
Yeah.
Not even that low key.
Hey, Dwayne Johnson played for him too.
The Rock.
See, I'm gonna marry Ed Reed someday though. So
Can you
Oh my Dang, Steve.
Yeah,
Really?
I'm just here.
Yeah.
placeholder, and he's doing a good job.
Yeah.
Are
I'm
we
really
seeing
proud
a
of you.
divorce live
Becky,
on camera here?
Becky's talking about marrying the next one, and I'm like, if I'm get out of this, I'm not marrying anybody.
Learn my lesson.
Oh my gosh.
Water is lovely this time of year. Oh, boy.
You won't get this type of entertainment anywhere else on a Wednesday night. Just telling you.
Nope. So
Hey, we got we're gonna get everybody out of here in an hour and a half. I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Oh, no, wait, that's an hour and a half. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
that is pretty good for us because we usually go an hour and a half off the rails.
Yeah.
And you just
usually,
keep on talking, Corey. That's what usually happens.
I just keep going.
Yeah. Don't
Thanks.
shut up.
Can we mute him? So I can talk.
The picks tomorrow, by the way, we're going to cut this up, and the picks will go back up on the website as a standalone. You won't have to listen to the whole show. We're going to put that up for people that might not have participated in the stream. Thank you to everybody for participating in the stream. We're up at about 110, 120 chats. So thank you very much for that. We're going to get this. I think we got like 80 or 90 views just on the Locked On Ole Miss channel.
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely. And download the audio version if you're driving in the car, anywhere you find your podcast, including TuneIn Radio. And one of my Bleav in Georgia Dawgs segments made it on the Stadium Network, so that was pretty cool.
That's
So,
awesome.
check
And
us out.
don't just type in SEC if you're looking for SEC podcast in Spotify.
Or Georgia All Whites.
definitely
Yeah.
definitely not Georgia All Whites.
Yeah.
So yeah, make this your first SEC listen. SEC After Dark in Spotify. You will find it now. It is not part of Beast of the East anymore. I got that changed, so you can find it on the audio version. A lot simpler. So tune in to us. Check that out. If you're driving around, can't really watch, but you can watch the replay on the YouTube channel as well. And you can catch us just about anywhere. Hit us up, like, subscribe. But we're going to get out of here. We are SEC After Dark. Have a great weekend. We'll see you back here next week. So long. Go Dogs.
Go Vols. Haha.
Roll Tide.
Call me Ed Reed.
It's just right down the road, Beck.
Good grief. It's like 2 hours away.
Great way to end it.
I don't know what to think.
Yeah, we got a bombshell dropped on Steve tonight.
Yeah, seriously, I've got to get in my feelings.
Steve, what is your getting in your feelings song going to be tonight?
Oh, it'll probably be Nickelback, but
I was just kidding. I was just kidding.
Look at this photograph.
Oh God.
I'd listen to Nickelback